You've emphasised the importance of the moat around a business, or the sustainable competitive advantage. My question really relates to learning more about that. Professor Michael Porter at Harvard has made a detailed study of this. Did you find his work useful, and can you recommend any other sources of information on this?
Yeah, I've never really read Porter, although I've read enough about him to know that we think alike in a general way. So I can't refer you to specific books or anything, but my guess is that what he writes would be very useful for an investor to read. I've just seen him referred to in some commentary, but I think he talks about durable or sustainable competitive advantage as being the core of any business. And I can tell you that is exactly the way we think. I mean, that in the end, if you were evaluating a business year to year, the number one question you want to ask yourself is whether the competitive advantage has been made stronger and more durable before it, and that's more important than the P&L for a given year. So I would suggest that you read anything that you find that's helpful, or actually the best way to do it is study the people that have achieved that and ask yourself how they did it and why they did it. I mean, why is it that in razor blades, everybody grows up in business school hearing that as a great example of a product that's very profitable, and why, with it obvious that there's going to be no reduction in demand for the next 100 years for the product, why are there no new entrants into the field? What is it that gives you that moat around the razor blade business? Normally, if you got a profitable business, a dozen people want to go into it. If you've got a dress shop here in town and it looks like it's doing well, a couple of other people are going to want to open up a shop next door to it. And here's a worldwide business. Nothing can go wrong with the demand to speak of, and yet people don't go into it. So we like to ask ourselves questions like that. We like to ask ourselves, why was State Farm successful, against people that had incredible agency plants and lots of capital? And here's some farmer out in Bloomington, Illinois, named George Maherl, who's in his 40s. Sets up a company that defies capitalistic imperatives. I mean, it has no stock, it has no stock options, it has no big rewards. It's kind of half socialistic, and all it does is take 25% of the market, away from all of these companies that have all these characteristics. We believe you should study things like that. We think you should study things like Mrs. B out at the Nebraska Furniture Mart, who takes $500 and turns it, over time into the largest home furnishing store in the world. There has to be some lessons in things like that. What gives you that kind of a result and that kind of competitive advantage over time? And that is the key to investing. I mean, if you can spot that, particularly if you can spot it when others don't spot it so well, you're on the, you will do very well. And we focus on that. Charlie?
Yeah, these factors, every business tries to turn this year's success into next year's greater success. And they all use pretty much every advantage they have in every direction from this year to make next year's better. Microsoft did exactly that year after year after year and happened to win big. And it's hard to see, for me at least, to see why Microsoft is sinful, because they tried to improve the products all the time and make next year's business position stronger than last year's business position. I mean, if that's a sin, every subsidiary of Berkshire is a sinner, I hope.
Yeah. We declare ourselves for sin.